Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Thank you for joining us for today's presentation. You are in the right place at the right time for our Q4 2024 Customer Journey Analytics Innovations webinar. And we are so glad to have you with us. Today's session is all about Customer Journey Analytics' latest innovations with our Adobe Analytics product team. And now I'd like to hand this session over to Jen Lasser, who is a Director of Product Management here at Adobe, and she will start things off for us today. Hello, Jen. Welcome. And the stage is now yours.
Thanks so much, Emily. Appreciate the warm welcome and welcome to everyone that's joining us. Thank you for attending our second quarterly webinar in what we hope to be a very long-running series where we share the latest innovations, capabilities, tips, use cases that we are releasing to Customer Journey Analytics and Adobe Analytics. My name is Jen Lasser. As Emily said, I'm a Director of Product Management on the Adobe Analytics team, and I'm joined by my colleagues Travis, Ashok, Zach, Jennifer, and Jeff, who will be sharing the latest innovations that we've released to the product today. Today is all about sharing the new capabilities that we've put out there. We want to make sure that you're maximizing the value that you're getting from Customer Journey Analytics and Adobe Analytics by making you aware of the recent innovations, sharing tips and use cases, how we're seeing our customers use these capabilities. And really, ultimately, the goal is to help you plan. You're heading into 2025 right now. You're thinking about how to effectively apply Adobe Analytics and Customer Journey Analytics to your businesses. So we want to make sure you know the full value that you can get out of these products. Now, before we get into the individual capabilities that we want to share today, we always like to set the tone and the scene around our roadmap priorities. These are durable categories of investment for our business, areas that we're constantly pouring in new innovations to help drive your businesses forward. The first is analytics maturity. This is all about helping you get the most out of the data that you have in our products and really help build a stronger analytics practice for your organization. Time to value, we're focused on helping you instrument and collect data as quickly as you can, and also help your users get to insights fast. Insights to activation, this is all about making sure that you don't just stop at data and an insight, but actually take action on those insights and make a change in your product experiences. Persona expansion here, we're focused on helping you as analysts serve new roles in your organization with the data and the insights they need to make data-driven decisions. And also, if you're a non-analyst or newer to the tools on the line here, we're constantly pouring in innovations to help you get to insights more quickly in a self-service manner. And last but certainly not least, automation of insights. We're really focused our roadmap on integrating AI, ML, generative AI through the analysis workflows that you know and love in Adobe Analytics and Customer Journey Analytics to help you get to insights more quickly and really make you a more efficient analyst of analytics data. So we're going to go through some new capabilities. Travis is going to share some new Journey Canvas visualization that we've added to Customer Journey Analytics. Zach's going to take us through alerts in Customer Journey Analytics. Jennifer is going to highlight the new report builder for Adobe Analytics. And I don't mean to steal your thunder, Jennifer, but I have heard this might work on a Mac. So I'm very excited to see if that's true. Ashok is going to talk to us about the asset transfer tool in CJA. Jeff is going to take us through guided analysis in Analysis Workspace. And Travis is going to bring us home with some improved reporting in Adobe Journey Optimizer, which, if you weren't on the last webinar, you'll know is now powered by the same reporting engine that Customer Journey Analytics works off of. So a lot of great capabilities. I will call out a couple things. We will all be in the chat pod when we're not presenting. So do take advantage of having 6+ product managers all in one place for the next hour. We'd love to get all your questions answered. And we also have a web resources pod on the right-hand side of your screen that has all the links that we're going to share today. So you have very quick access to that. You don't have to type super fast when we share them on the screen. All right, with that, I'm going to hand it to Travis to get us started.
Thank you, Jen. I'm excited to be here, everyone, to show you our new Journey Canvas visualization. And I am going to dive right into a demo of this great new feature. So, Journey Canvas is one of the new visualizations added to the set here within Analysis Workspace in CJA. You drag it onto the canvas, and this is the config state that you'll get. The only requirement is to choose a metric. We default to people, but you can choose any metric that you care about, that you want to see how a user are progressing along a journey. You can also add a secondary metric. So if I wanted to see people and events, I could do that. And then I click build. When I hit build, you're getting presented with a blank canvas, hence the name, where you can build out a journey according as you see fit. So you can drag on an entire dimension. If you do that, it will automatically choose the top 3 dimensions within that 3-dimension items within that dimension, or you can go in and select an individual dimension and pull from your list and drag on that single value and then start going from here. I'm going to reduce it down just to my home, and then I want to maybe do search results next. And then once I get mine on, I hover over the little touch points on the end and then drag and connect these nodes together. And once I do that, now I can see I've got a quick journey flowing from home to search results and how my people and how many events are progressing along that path. I'm not going to take the whole time to build this out for the sake of our time today, but if I build this out here in a more complete journey, I can see I've got my home, search results, purchase step 1, purchase step 2, and then I end with my total orders metric. You can do a combination of dimensions, metrics, and segments along this journey. And so all along the way, there's a whole bunch of really cool things that you can do here. So let's say I also wanted to know if the users were going to forums and maybe the articles page. And so what sets Journey Canvas apart from our traditional funnels is that I can now have a forked funnel where I can go to from home to any of these 3 options, to either the forum, the searches, or the articles page, and then they come back and continue progressing along my journey. And so, my connection just doesn't want to play nice. There we go. And so now I can quickly see how a user goes from the home to any of these 3 options and then back along the journey here. So this is a great capability here to allow some variance within your journeys that might not be quite as maybe clean as we're used to with a linear funnel. And then I have everybody starting here at home, but maybe I want to know the top 3 locations that people are coming from. And so I can drag these on. I've got no value, USA, Greece, and let's bring on one more for fun. And I want Japan. And so now I've got all 3 of these that I can connect into my home and see how the demographics might be changing my data here coming from any of these 3 locations as part of my journey. And then another great thing is all along the way, if I want to do, I want to know which channels are driving the most people to my homepage. I can drag on my marketing channel dimension onto a node, and it will do a breakdown of that node directly on the canvas. So I can see display as my best performing marketing channel, followed by email, text, and paid search. If I want to dig in deeper, I simply click on an open and freeform link here, and it generates this all this data here captured in a freeform table, so I can do additional analysis and exploration to go even deeper, which is really awesome. And then let's say I want to know people who are also coming from this is all my web traffic. If I want to know my mobile traffic as well and how that contributes to my orders, I can just drag that on, and I can have a delayed start that comes in at a different entry point here and how they feed in directly to my orders. And so now I've got this really sophisticated journey that I built just in a matter of minutes to know exactly how my people are coming in from a different location, the channel that they're doing to hit my homepage, the forked funnel here that they're progressing through, and all that. And so There's a ton of great capabilities that I haven't even scratched the surface. Lots of great right-click actions and behaviors that you can do. You can see the fallout across all the various steps along the way to see how people are falling out of particular points and all the like. So lots of great goodness here for journey analysis to better understand how your users are progressing through your various channels and journey points. So that is just a primer for Journey Canvas and the conclusion of my demo. And I am now going to hand it off to Zach to talk to us about alerts.
Thank you, Travis. Really happy to be here today to be talking about intelligent alerts in CJA. As you know, intelligent alerts within analytics is a very popular feature that's been around for some time. We have many people that are using it. It's probably a part of your everyday practice. We're really happy that we were able to get this out in CJA this last quarter. And instead of doing a demo, because that's literally like just filling out a form, I've got a couple slides that I wanted to use to kind of click through the experience here. This is a screenshot from CJA Intelligent Alerts. As you can see, it is almost exactly the same look and feel that we have in analytics. So it should feel like you're using the same tool that you're used to, and should have a fairly high level of familiarity with it. We do have a couple changes that we wanted to call out, and we'll get to that. As you can see, if you were filling this out or doing a demo, you'd go through and do the same like naming titles and stuff like that that you'd go through, add description, do it like, and kind of fill out that first initial portion of alerts. A couple callouts that I wanted to talk about today of some things that are going to be different. The first thing is with the time granularity that we're able to provide. Within analytics, we can run hourly alerts. Within CJA, we've decided that we're going to allow daily, weekly, and monthly alerts to run for the initial go. I did want to spend a second and kind of talk about some of the reasons why behind that. One of the strong points or the selling points of CJA are some things like data restatement. With CJA, if someone is not an authenticated user and you have an alert for users set up, a user may become authenticated at some later point in time. If the alert is set up around that, it could trigger errantly. And there's kind of dozens of different use cases where data can update and change within CJA, which makes an hourly alert pretty difficult to deal with. During our initial testing, we found that hourly alerts would kind of fall subject to that, but daily alerts were much more consistent. And so we wanted to launch with that and kind of go with that as a beginning point with hopes of trying to uncover or think a little bit differently about hourly alerts for a different point in the future. Another thing that's different within CJA is just how data is processed, and it kind of has to do with everything that we just talked about with data restatement. Because of that, we look to see if the data has been loaded or is complete to a degree that we can run an alert with a high degree of success. We've included with that to ensure that happens a delay hour where if we have a daily alert that's running, we can set the number of hours that we should delay that alert to run to make sure that we account for all of the data that may be needed to run that alert with a high degree of success. That is configurable by you. So you would go through and if you wanted to delay, if it's a daily alert, if you wanted to delay it by a couple hours just to make sure that we get any trickling data accounted for, that would be entered right there. And that is different between analytics and CJA. The last thing that I really wanted to call out here is just the ability to run an anomaly alert or something that's based on an anomaly. This is not really new functionality. But as you can see right here for the criteria for an anomaly alert with a 99% threshold, getting into a standard deviation, we can see right here very quickly in the preview that an alert would trigger 2 times in the last 30 days if it were configured that way. In comparison to that, we also can run like a threshold alert or like a rules kind of based alert where we can set some criteria like, is it equal to at least 2 right here? And then we also see a preview right here for if we were to go about creating an alert that way, what would happen for that alert in the preview window here. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward and kind of the exact same things that we have in analytics. Just by way of resource, and this is included in the web resources, like kind of dialogue that I think y'all have a view to. We do have like a feature comparison link in Experience League, and then also some general guidance in creating an alert right there. That's everything from me. Very happy to have alerts out in CJA, and I will turn it over to Jennifer.
Great. Thanks, Zach. So I'm super excited to present this to you guys today. We're going to be talking about the new report builder for Adobe Analytics. So for those of you who have been with Analytics for some time, this might look familiar. So this is different than the old report builder for Analytics. Sort of an outdated interface. It ran on the 1.4 API. It only worked on PCs. We heard from many people for a long, long time that they wanted it to work on Mac, but it was PC only. Used it a lot myself. It's a little slow. So listen, it was a really functional application, a lot of features, but it was time for a glow up. So we have a new report builder for Analytics that uses the 2.0 API. It works on PC and Mac and Office on web. It's a lot faster. I use it all the time. And it has a much more intuitive interface with familiar dimensions, metrics, segments, etc., similar to what you have seen and are used to in Workspace. In addition to having almost all of the functionality of the old report builder, there's also some new features that I'm excited to show you today that adds just like a little bit more convenience. So some of you may be wondering like, hey, I have a whole bunch of workbooks in the legacy report builder. What do I need to do to start using the new report builder? So because we know that transitioning to, an upgraded application can be painful, we've created it so it's super easy and automatic for you guys. So when you open a legacy report builder workbook in the new report builder, it's going to automatically detect that. And all you have to do is push a button for it to upgrade to the new report builder. It has near parity with the legacy report builder. But you'll be able to download a report of every single request. That's every single data block in your workbook, and see what its conversion status was, just to make sure that it's converted correctly. For a full list of the legacy request types and how they convert, that's all available on Experience League. And also coming soon, not only will you be able to schedule, but you'll be able to import the legacy workbook scheduling metadata for your new workbook and your new scheduled task. So all those email addresses, the cadence that it's delivered on, you'll be able to import that as well. So that'll make it super easy for you to take your old report books, your old workbooks, and move it to the new report builder and keep everything scheduling on the same cadence. So let's take a look at the demo. So please forgive the super lame demo workbook here. I know that your workbooks are a lot more complex, but this is a legacy workbook, and I've logged into the new report builder that's up here in my toolbar. And it's already detected that it's a legacy request. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit upgrade. It says, make sure you save a backup. So I've already done that. This is copy 5. So I'm going to proceed. And just like that, it's updated my request to the new report builder. So it tells me how many requests were successfully upgraded. And again, to review what has been done, this will list every single data block. It'll give its location. It'll give its status. And if there's anything to know, if it wasn't, perfectly upgraded, there will be a little message telling you what happened. Just close that. Okay. So coming back out here, I'm in the data block manager. So this should be super familiar, similar to the data block manager of the legacy report builder. It lists all your data blocks, again, their location, and there's the ability to list a whole bunch of information about each of those data blocks, making it really easy to act on them. Now, if I move back out, here's our main menu. So I want to show you just really quick what creating a data block looks like in the new report builder. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit create. I'll select my cell. I have my report suite. And here we have the date ranges. So it's going to be a lot of the familiar date range functionality from the old report builder, plus the presets that we have in Workspace. So you can use date math, you can use custom expressions. It really gives you a lot of flexibility over how to dictate the date ranges of each data block. Then in building a data block, we have very familiar dimensions, metrics, and segments. This should look very similar to what you see in Workspace. So I'm going to create a data block here real quick. Down here, we have a drag and drop pivot table type format. But if you're not sure exactly where to drag your different components, if you just double click on them, it'll drag them, or it'll automatically populate them where it thinks it should be. Okay, and then you just hit finish, and there's your data block. So this main menu here is going to be context aware. So depending on what you click on here, you create a new data block, you can refresh them all. But this is really important because if I highlight 2 data blocks, there's a bunch of actions that I can take. And then also, here's my favorite set of convenience features, this quick edit. So you can see that 2 data blocks are selected. It tells you the report suites that are in the data block. It's all the same. The date range happens to be the same. And segments, you just saw me add USA to that recent data block. So let's click on that. Now, how many times do you have to replace an audience segment or a filter or something that you've placed on one or more of your data blocks in a giant workbook? So not only can you add segments to all selected data blocks or remove a certain segment from all selected data blocks, but my favorite is being able to find and replace. So if you need to update just a very particular audience segment and it only appears in a couple data blocks and you don't want to go through each and every one and figure out which one has it, this allows you to find and replace all of them at the same time. So that's my speed run. There's a lot more functionality. I highly encourage you to check out Experience League that goes through a lot more of what is offered here. But with that, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to hand it back over to Ashok for asset transfer.
Thanks, Jennifer. A little change of pace, I guess, and a little love for all the tireless analytics and CJA admins out there. We see you, and this is for you. We recently released the asset transfer functionality for CJA. This is something that exists and has proved very valuable in Adobe Analytics. And we are really glad to be extending this to CJA as well to address some of the same or similar use cases. I mean, the primary problem the asset transfer function feature is intended for is, I mean, we've heard from customers how it was critical for admins to ensure that assets, by which I mean anything created in CJA, right, like projects, filters, calc metrics, annotations, date ranges. We've heard from customers how important it was for them to ensure that these assets remained accessible, even if the person that created them was no longer active within the org. When a CJA user leaves or is moved to a different org, there currently is no way for admins to reassign anything. This particular user may have created to another current user. While that is kind of the long-term problem the asset transfer tool is supposed to address, there's also the fact that customers are currently migrating from analytics to CJA. And they have had no way of ensuring that, projects and components that they, moved over to CJA using the, incredible component and project migration workflow that we built. There was no way for them to ensure that these components, once ported over to CJA, they were reassigned to their rightful owners. This means, components get ported over, but, not the guarantee that users will be able to get to them, and maintain a sense of continuity in CJA. Now that CJA offers an asset transfer feature, admins can ensure that users continue to have complete access to components, regardless of whether they were the original creators or no. As for the experience, I mean, if you have seen or used the asset transfer tool in CJA, in analytics, the experience should be very familiar. Even if you didn't, it's really straightforward, which explains why I thought it didn't require a demo. It is an admin-only feature that you can get to from within the tools section. And once you're there, you get to see a list of users that are currently entitled to your CJA instance. You can either search for or select a user from this list and then It's as simple as clicking the transfer assets button. And then you get to see a list of components that this particular user has created, split across, various component types. And then you get to select or, search for those components. You can go through those folders, or you can simply select all components to be transferred. And then once you've made that selection, you can click transfer, and that's it. You're done. The components will change ownership in that the recipient will now be able to access, they'll be able to edit or even share the components, transferred to them. They can, admins can also accomplish some of the same actions using asset transfer APIs. You can use these APIs to, programmatically transfer ownership between, users. APIs, we think, can come in really handy, both when, you're facing, bulk asset transfer, situations, or in the course of your analytics to CJA migration, right? In which case there could be hundreds and thousands of components in some cases that you want to transition from and to a lot of different users. And that is where we think these transfer APIs will come in really, really handy. No more having to recreate these components simply because there's been changes in your org, and no more admin overhead, hopefully, when trying to ensure that your users can, pick up in CJA where they left off in, analytics. By the way, these are some of the links that you'd find on Experience League if you want to learn more about asset transfer, or even get a hang of the APIs if that is the direction you want to go. You'd also find them under the web resources section you have access to during the session. So that's it. That's asset transfer for you. And I'm going to hand over to Jeff.
Thanks, Ashok. Thanks, everybody so far. To introduce myself, I'm Jeff Feintuck. I'm a PM here with Adobe Analytics, and I'll be going through guided analysis in Analysis Workspace. So to start, I want to give a brief overview of what is guided analysis. Some of you may have attended last quarter's presentation, and if not, this might be new to you. So guided analysis enables users to self-serve high-quality data and insights about the customer journey through guided workflows built on cross-channel data of CJA. So this can be used by anyone from analysts to marketers to product teams and anybody in between, and allows you to have 11 analyses out of the box that are able to help you monitor, understand, iterate, and optimize. These are available across the different CJA packages, and they ultimately help you really understand your data and what is going on in your experience. So last quarter, we showed you the guided analysis experience as it lived within customer journey analytics. And this quarter, we're giving an update to let you know that guided analysis is now directly in Analysis Workspace. This enables users to be able to combine multiple guided analyses and panels in a workspace project to better tell customer experience stories and create dashboards. You can create new guided analyses directly from the workspace left rail without having to adjust your workflows. And you can access saved guided analyses throughout. They use them as building blocks as you build out your team dashboards. Ultimately, this is a really great experience. It provides a seamless interaction within Analysis Workspace. So now I will jump into my demo. So as you see, I'll be walking through an experience for my media company and showing you a bit about our dashboard here. So as you see, I have our comprehensive insights dashboard open. You can see there's some free-form tables, big numbers, and charts and graphs. And what I'll show you is quickly how to incorporate a guided analysis within this. So first, you'll see here on the left rail, there's a new icon for guided analysis. When I click, I'm able to see two key functions. First, new analyses. So these are the 11 analyses that we mentioned on the previous slide.
and saved analyses. So these are any analyses that have been previously created by me or have been shared within my team. Additionally, I can sort these analyses by when they were either last modified or alphabetical order. And I can also filter these based on what's been approved, favorited, or saved. Additionally, I can do a quick search and find a specific analysis by title if I'd like to do that. So now, if I am going through here, maybe I want to understand user retention of customers within my experience. I'll see if I have a saved analysis already. So if I go in here and I click See All, I can see I have adoption trends, new customer product flow, new funnel, new user growth. Maybe I'll pull that one. Let's see. As this page loads, you'll see quickly as I pull in an analysis that there are several views within here. So now the guided analysis lives directly within my workspace. I can view it as a chart view, a table view, or I can view both. Additionally, throughout all our guided analyses, you'll see key insights as they bubble up. So here I can see that a little under 1,900 users were active in October, up 77% in 2 months. I can also then directly edit this experience through Workspace. So if I click Edit, I'll see this experience, and this should look familiar to those of you who are already using guided analyses, as the experience follows the same user flow that was there previously. Now, let's say I want to add a new analysis directly in here. I want to do a funnel analysis of users who come through, land on our website, and complete a media view. If I want to, I can drag this funnel analysis directly here, and it acts just like a panel, and now I can create a new funnel. Click. Again, this should be pretty clear to those who have already created these, as it's pretty much the same workflow that you've already seen. I could create comparisons in here as well. So if I want to say view my list versus view category list, then I can add a third step of media start, media complete. And now I can see a full funnel of users who've landed on the homepage to they've completed a media view. If I wanted to count this as sessions, I can do that. And I can add different segments if that makes sense. Additionally, I can create a new name for this funnel. So let's just call this new product funnel analysis. And when I click save, this will be something that it'll be directly show up in the left navigation as well. So on save, now I can see this analysis directly within my experience. And I see the user flow, new user growth, as well as the KPIs that I'd previously pulled. Lastly, I can drag and drop these just like any panel throughout the experience. So let's say I want to move this one to below high-level KPIs. I can do so. You'll also notice that you can see the time and date ranges, which align with everything else in your report. And then lastly, once I'm done with this, I can share this out with my team. So I could share with Workspace users or share with anyone. So that concludes my demo. Again, I won't go through all 11 analyses, but they're all here and they all interact directly within your experience. So now I will hand it back to Travis, who'll take you through AJO reporting.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, it's me again. To bring us home, let's talk about some reporting enhancements we've done to AJO. So I'm going to once again do a demo for everybody. All right, so we shared some of this last time, but just as a quick recap, for any of our AJO customers on the call who are joint AJO and CJ customers, we have overhauled the reporting experience within AJO to be enabled and powered by customer journey analytics under the hood and in the UI. So now we have these new reports within AJO that are essentially workspace versions of the AJO reporting that previously existed. We've added some great new capabilities to AJO as part of this endeavor in terms of building a cross journey view here where you can compare all your journeys all on one screen, see how they're performing against one another, and some other great features. But specifically for our phase 2 enhancements, things that we just released last month, we've added a few things I want to highlight. The first is the ability to create a simple metric. So if I highlight 2 metrics here and I right click, I'll have an option to create a metric from a selection, and it'll automatically fill out my metric builder here. Now, depending on your entitlement, if you're an AJO only customer, you won't see the full calc metric builder, but as a CJ customer, you'd get the full thing here. You can come in and make any modifications to it if you want, but I'm going to leave it as is. I want to see what this conversion rate is here from enters to exits. I click apply, and it automatically gets added to my table right next to the 2 metrics that I had before. If for some reason you highlight more than 2 metrics, the first 2 will be added to the builder. The rest will be dropped out. You can only do 2 metrics to create a new one, and these do not persist. So if I were to leave this report and come back, this metric wouldn't be saved. However, if I share this out to anybody with this metric added, it will be preserved as part of that shared state. So just a good thing to know about the metrics. So that gives a little bit of capability to do some additional analysis here in the report that goes beyond the stuff, the presets that we provided out of the box. That's the first thing we've added that I wanted to highlight. The next is the ability to create an audience. So you might have noticed when I right click, there's a few other options there. So I could do it on any of these headers here, or I can pick a cell here. So let's say on people who have exited this event, I right click, create audience from selection. We'll have a very similar workflow where I can come in and it's pre-populated with the audience data. I just need to give it a name, and then I can just click. If I want to change any other metadata, I can, but I can go ahead and click publish and fire it off for further activation in AJO if I want to retarget them or something like that with a different campaign or something like that. So I'm not going to publish it for today's purposes, but that is a great capability that you can do on the table itself, or to bring my 2 demos full circle. If I show you in a specific journey report here, we have the Journey Canvas tool that I showed you earlier baked into our journey reports. And this one is a very, very simple journey. But I could right click on a node here and I could create an audience from a journey canvas node directly here within AJO. So any freeform table cells or a journey canvas node, you can right click and create an audience. So thank you to our AJO folks for pushing us to build this journey canvas tool, which is why we now get it in CJ. So some good cross pollination happening there. At the bottom of every report is our insight builder, or as our CJ friends know, our quick insight builder here. So anyone who isn't familiar with this is a great starting analysis tool where you can kind of fill in the blank with at least one dimension and one metric. And once you have both of those, it automatically will build a freeform table and an accompanying visualization to help you get started in your analysis. Within AJO, this is really here to allow users to ask, what next? You've gone through this entire report and it's probably generated some questions that you want to dig deeper on and know more about. So we've added the insight builder here at the bottom of each report so you can ask some of those foundational or fundamental questions here. You still have the similar limitations as we do in CJ, where you can only add up to 3 breakdowns of dimensions or 3 metrics and so on. So it's not giving everything away. If you want to dig deeper, CJ is still the bread and butter for that. But this gives a good starting point to ask some basic questions that may have been generated as you're going through your analysis. So this is a great way to enable more AJO users to self-serve and answer some of their own questions. So that's another great capability we've added there. And then one new thing we've added is the ability to schedule. So previously in AJO, you could not schedule, but now we have a schedule manager here. You can do up to weekly or monthly granularity, but otherwise a lot of the scheduling workflow remains the same here. However, there is a cap on how many schedules you can send from AJO. If you want to send more than 10, then that's what CJA is for. And you can see here, it gives me my count, and you could also tell in the share drop down, there's a managed schedule that tells me how many I've got, 2 of 10. So if I need to delete an expired schedule or an old one, I can come in and manage those and delete it to free up a slot to send out some more schedules. But the great thing about all this is the connectivity that we have between AJO and CJA, because these are so linked together. So now I can click on Analyze in CJA. It'll open up a new tab with the exact same report that I was just looking at, with all the data pre-populated, the tables, the dimensions, all this kind of stuff. My Journey Canvas tool is here, and I can go even further. If I want to nuance off of this Journey Canvas and add additional nodes and things like that, I can go crazy and do as much analysis as my heart desires. So that connectivity between those two platforms and applications is really, really powerful here to enable deeper dives analysis and much more exploratory capabilities. So, and a to be coming feature will be the ability to come in here, modify this in any way, customize it to maybe what might be better suited for your organization, and then save it as a company template and publish it back to AJO. So now when I open up this particular journey, instead of opening the default Adobe provided one, I could select from a custom one that I've created for my organization. So that'll be coming in January, the ability to do that workflow. That workflow will also unlock templates in general for CJA, for Adobe provided templates, as well as custom company templates, just similar to what we have in Adobe Analytics today. So that's a one final thing that we're doing for AJO that'll be coming in a couple of months. So that is the enhancements we have to Journey Optimizer and the workflow between AJO and CJA, and concludes my demo for today. And now I am going to hand it back to Jen to wrap us up and bring us home.
Thanks so much, Travis. That was a lot of goodness. Hopefully the demos, the tips, the use cases that we all covered inspire you all to try something new in Adobe Analytics or Customer Journey Analytics this week while you're working in our products. Thank you to Travis, Shob, Jennifer, Zach, Jeff, Rick, and Brett in the chat pod for participating today and sharing all of that with our viewers. We also have a quick poll for you. We'd love to just hear from you what you were most excited to see today of the capabilities covered. What are you most excited to try out or use one day in Adobe Analytics or Customer Journey Analytics? So we'll give just a minute to let this fill out, and then we'll pop back to the resources. I love a live poll. It's like a horse race, seeing who's going to pull ahead at the end. Looks like Journey Canvas, guided analysis. I love seeing votes for all of the capabilities. That just tells us that we're hitting the mark and delivering capabilities that you all are looking forward to using in the product. Ooh, one more for asset transfer. Love it. Thanks all for the feedback. That's going to help us make sure we're covering the right things in future quarterly webinars. Before we let you go, we have some resources for continued learning. We love doing these webinars, but we don't want to leave you empty-handed as you walk away and go back to your desks. So we have a YouTube channel that has lots of videos on it that have demos and, again, tips and tricks for how to get the most value out of our products. Experience League is a one-stop shop for documentation and more video tutorials, so you can learn all the capabilities in our products from A to Z. And finally, we have our Analytics Express page that covers all of the more notable things that we're releasing to Adobe Analytics and Customer Journey Analytics. And check in on them often. We're constantly updating these three resources in particular. So thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I really appreciate the questions and the conversation. We always enjoy getting to talk with you all. And hope you join us at the next one of these. So it'll be sometime maybe January, February. Once we get it scheduled, you'll be sure to get some communication about it. Again, thanks for joining us. And I will turn it back over to Emily.
Well, gosh, Jen, thank you so much for hosting this session. And to our Adobe Analytics product team, thank you for all of your professional expertise. We appreciate everything you shared with us today and your help in making this such an excellent webinar. And to all of you in the audience, we appreciate your participation, your questions, and we thank you for your thoughtful time and attention. This does conclude today's session, and on behalf of Adobe, We wish you a great rest of your day.